Hello, grammar scholars. I am here to do just a short video of review about phrases and clauses. No, not that kind of clause. No. Your time has not yet come. You got months to go. We need to talk about phrases and clauses so that when you do your IXL this week, you just have a little bit of a reminder of what those different groups of words are. So let's go ahead and look at some of these real quickly here. So a phrase is a group of related words with a subject or a verb, but not both. Okay, we're talking about groups of words with some noun or some verb, but not both functioning parts of a sentence. So, for example, a large group of Bengal tigers. You have some noun situation here, but no verb, no action, not even state of being. Before the rodeo, you could recognize that as a prepositional phrase. We've got some different types of phrases, and this one has a preposition. It has a noun object of the preposition, but there's no verb in that group of words, so that makes it a phrase. What about this one? Running around in the park before the dawn. We get a verb, we get prepositional phrases, but there's nothing to do that action. There's no noun, there's no subject that can do that action. So this is also a phrase. And then this one, cruel-faced and horrifying zombies, you've got a subject and you've got some, modifiers of that subject or that noun, but there's no verb, there's no action or state of being conveyed in this sentence, in this group of words. So these are all phrases. Nouns or verbs, subjects or verbs, but not both. That would be a phrase. And then clause, a group of words that has a subject and a predicate, has subject and verb. And we should remember that there are two types. Can you remember those two types of clauses? We've got independent and dependent. So they are what they sound like, right? The independent clause is a strong independent clause. It don't need no man. It has everything that it needs in order to be a sentence. And the dependent clause is dependent on something else. It's not complete by itself. So that independent clause has a subject, a verb, and a complete thought, whereas the dependent clause has a subject and a verb, but no complete thought. It's missing something. And usually we can pick out dependent clauses because they function from subordinating conjunctions. Usually it's going to be a group of words that starts with one of those subordinating conjunctions, although, because, since, before, when, there's a whole bunch of them. You could do a Google search on subordinating conjunctions and find all the different ways that these dependent clauses can start. So you want to be aware of that. That's usually, all it takes for an independent clause to become dependent is one word. If it has one of these subordinating conjunctions at the beginning, then it's not a complete sentence. It doesn't convey a complete thought. So let's see some examples of those. You've got an independent clause. A large group of Bengal tigers can finish off a man in no time. Carol Baskins. And then if you see here, you've got a subject group. You've got a verb, can, finish, and that is a complete thought. So subject, verb, complete thought, that makes it an independent clause. Here's another one. Clowns is the subject, dressed is the verb, and before the rodeo, the clowns dressed in wild colors and paint. That expresses a complete thought. So it's got all three components, subject, verb, and complete thought. For dependent clauses, we're looking at groups of words that do have subjects and verbs, but they're missing the complete thought part. They're not expressing something in its entirety. So before he ran wildly around the park at dawn, he is a subject, ran is a verb, and it has both of those components, but it starts with this word before. And that means that it cannot stand by itself. Because it leaves you asking, before he ran wildly around the park at dawn, what? We're waiting for the completion of that thought. It's not complete as it is. Same thing with this one. Since the cruel-faced and horrifying zombies were attacking, what? We're waiting on something to finish the meaning of that sentence. We do have a subject, we do have a verb, but because of this subordinating conjunction since, we don't get a complete thought. Okay, so that's independent and dependent clauses. So if we want to remember, a clause has both a subject and a verb. Independent clauses express complete thoughts. Dependent clauses do not. And if we want to remember about phrases, They're just groups of related words that have either a subject or a verb, but they are not going to have both of those things. All right. And you guys should remember a few different types of phrases that we have looked at before, and that will probably help you as you go through your IXL this week. Okay. All right, guys, take care. Let me know if you have any questions about phrases and clauses, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys soon.